Alright, folks, and welcome back to the channel. It's time to discuss that game that finished at Easter Road. Hibs 2, Celtic 1. As Celtic come forward to their second domestic defeat of the season. We'll discuss the match. We'll also discuss the VAR controversy that was in the match as well, and just obviously discuss the overall thing, what's happened with the other results as well. I'm joined by Alistair to go over everything. How you doing, Alistair, after that one today?
Sore one, Josh, but I know slow, but I wish I could say I couldn't see it coming. And see, to be honest, mate, you could tell right away, even at the ground, we weren't the own it all day.
I mean, Brendan Rodgers mentioned about the beers. It's no one beer they've had. I think they've had a fucking 3-day bender, to be honest with you, going in off that performance. I mean, I think you would have seen a better
Yeah,
team. I think you'd have seen a better team than your local walking football 11. If I'm being perfectly honest with you. And I know
yeah,
we're still 13 points clear because the American Dream Draft points. But I mean,
yeah,
we still need to discuss it. Obviously, it's brilliant. I'm not want to get into panic. I think it's also, it's important when we do get defeat. This is our second league defeat of the season. It's not a meltdown. And I'm glad I've not really seen that meltdown. I think obviously when we get beat off Rangers, there was a real, uproar, but I don't think I've seen that as much, especially even after full-time Ibrox as well. There wasn't, even before that, like when the game just finished, people weren't like really uproar, but I think it's also important to discuss that performance today was nowhere near good enough. And I know you attended the game, you're paying upwards of, I think, of £38 for a ticket.
top draw.
That's not acceptable
Yeah,
to see that performance. And before we get into Slate and Celtic, I just want to say to Hibs played fantastically well. Really well drilled, knew how to play against us. Played similar to we played against Bayern Munich, I'd say. Picked up moments, pressing was good, offside
yeah,
trap was good, and they made it really difficult for Celtic. So I don't want to just say, oh, Hibs never done anything. A lot of us playing badly was because Hibs made it really difficult for us, and it was obvious that was going to happen. So yeah, I just want to say that before we get in completely, talk about obviously what went wrong today. Obviously, Alistair, team selection. We've seen Schmeichel in goal, back four of Taylor, Carter Vickers, Trusty and Johnston, midfield of Engels, McCowan and McGregor. It was actually Hatate dropped out, and then the front three of Nicholas Kuhn, Adam Ida and Daisen Maeda. There's one big ick with that team selection, and I think Brendan Rodgers made the wrong decision. I know it's in hindsight you can say, yeah, that's now. But Greg Taylor shouldn't be. Jeffrey Sloop has just put the stoppers in Michael Lacey during the week, and he's benched. It doesn't make sense to me.
well, I'll be honest with you, man. And I don't want to get personal because Greg Taylor's been a good player for us, but
Aye.
he's got severe limitations when you run at him. And he's got this terrible annoying habit of when he goes into the middle of the park, leaving the hole in the left side exposed.
Aye.
And if you think about it, Josh, that means everybody else is running about daft trying to cover it. Now, I am okay with inverted fullbacks if you've got a lot of the ball, but to take it to a form team, and let's be honest, Hibs
Oh, the
are
form
now
team in
the
the league.
form team in Scotland, aye.
Aye.
So you need to pay them respect. I just felt the whole attitude of the team was wrong. It was like we've just
Aye.
won with Bayern Munich, even though we went out and turned up with Billy Big Bollocks, if you want my honest opinion on it.
No, I think that's probably the
And it
best way to
just
put it.
felt utterly flat.
I think that's probably the
It
best way to
just
put
felt
it.
flat.
I think it was just we were just completely. You can tell with the first few minutes. Obviously, we concede in the first 2 minutes. It's a shocking goal to concede, and it's a goal I don't expect Celtic ever
Yeah,
to concede.
split open. We're split
Yeah.
open.
Aye, we're completely split open. It starts. Greg Taylor gets the ball, plays an absolute hospital header pass to Callum Gregor, who Callum Gregor's decent, right? But even anybody would have struggled to control it. Then the gap, Josh Campbell's got so much. There's nobody picking up the run, and that was for me. There was a real pattern of nobody picking up runs all afternoon, and Hibs were on top of us the whole game, especially that first half. The lack of cutting edge, I'm going to be honest with you, Adam Ida's boots were made of cement. Honestly, he could have had 2 bricks on his foot and controlled the ball better. There's points where and I know what going harsh on Adam Ida because he gets it sometimes off Celtic supporters, but it just frustrates the life out of me, to be honest, because you think when he's coming in, right, I'm a big Adam Ida fan and so you are, Alistair. But you think he's coming in, you're thinking, right, he's starting to lead the line, Kyogo's left, and he puts in a performance like that, and you're like, you're not helping yourself. You're not helping yourself, and you're not seeing yourself as consistent at that point, and you're constantly then going to be open to criticism. I mean, you look at players like Austin Trusty, we're getting ragdolled like at my point at fives.
Yeah, but I'll be honest. The whole on you go.
No, I was just going to say you can have all the technical ability in the world, but see if you're not for the game, which we weren't up for the game today. You're going to get beat. We're second to every single ball. Every single ball.
Yeah, did we pick up anything? We maybe won the first header, Josh, but I don't remember us picking up any scraps, any second ball, any fight. I mean, see when you start off a game like that, it's impossible to bring it back, and you're also to go to an informed Hibs, which I've already said that. So to go to an informed Hibs and then give them 2 goals at start, it's an uphill struggle for there.
Oh, you're not
going
to come back
for really bad, Josh. They're brilliant from Hibs' point of view, but from your point of view, they're terrible.
Oh, you talk about the uphill battle. It's you're trying to fucking climb a mountain with a mobility scooter.
Impossible fight.
You're trying to climb a mountain with fucking a mobility scooter. In all honesty,
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. At half time, I thought, nah, I'm not coming back because there was nothing to this. I'd understand maybe we've had a few shots and they've got maybe a lucky goal. They've went a breakaway and you're thinking, right, okay, just get in the second half and try and sort this. There was no attacking emphasis. It just looked like we can't be arsed.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, if it wasn't for Casper Michael, we could have been 4 down.
Oh, we
no
could have
exaggeration.
Because I just thought the whole defense. I just thought the whole team that first half were a shambles. It was shambolic. And we'll discuss angry players in a second. You talk about that second goal. It's a long throw and we just can't deal with it. And you're like, you've got Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty who are normally so solid. And, yet again, I'm like, this is becoming a bit an issue with Trusty when he comes up against a bit of physicality and a centre forward. I like Austin Trusty, but it is becoming it's like becoming Christopher Julian and Lyndon Dykes, Mark II, at times. And and maybe he's just trying to adjust to the Scottish game, and that's it's games like this today, right? Because people from the outside might look at it and go, "All right, Hibs, you'll beat them," because that's what I say to people who rip the Scottish League apart. You don't get how physical it is, though. If they a team, an informed team like Hibs, Alistair, if they sent at you anyway, aye, because the opposition they'll smell that, and that's what Hibs done.
But I'll be honest with you, Josh, at half time, I wouldn't have give you tuppence for us. And to be honest, I thought there's absolutely no way because there were no urgency. Even in the second half, when we got a foothold in the game, there were no there were no there were no urgency even the last 20 minutes there. I mean, you had the couple of odd chances, but did we really look like scoring? No, really.
And people might say in the channel that I'm just saying this because of how much I like the player. The only player that was showing any sort of urgency in that whole team was Arnie Engels, who's been here 6 months. You know, there was no
Yeah.
urgency for me from the captain. There was no urgency.
Basically, he spent the whole game pretty much out on the left hand side, especially when Maeda went through the middle. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not having a go at the team here. This is where you needed a second striker because it wasn't working.
Aye, we've said that.
And I'm
No,
not wetting the bed here, but
aye.
I'm just stating fact. I see them.
Because we've known that he can he'll go a run and then he'll have a game like this and we're all back to normal again. You know, I need to be seen I need to really see a consistent run. Now, a player is going to have a bad game in terms of I completely understand that. I'm not that stupid. But, you know, it just seems he has a decent game. Maybe he scored a really good goal last week and then we're back to square one again with him. The second half, Alistair, I thought, you know, we need to. Rodgers, I think, must have been fuming. Second half, 3 changes on the park. Schlupp came on. Schlupp came on, who should have started. Jota came on, and Hatate came on. Hatate, I thought, was just as bad, to be honest. I don't think he made much of a difference. But I thought Jota and Schlupp made some sort of a difference to try and get us a bit more. And then, you know,
well, it gave us a left hand side for a start.
Aye. And the thing is, right, you know, we scored, right? We scored through Dyson Maeda. It's a really poor goal from Hibs to concede it, to be honest, but fair enough to Maeda. And that's the first bit of fight we showed, nearly 70 minutes into the game. And you're like, well, where's this been? And then that's thing we start banging the door. You think, if we played like this in the first half, there would have been no problem. I thought we would have been fine. And then there was a point, I think, like 73, 74 minutes. The ball goes out for a throw, and I think the Hibs player must have grabbed it, and Engels just gave him a bit back. And you're like, I'm not saying you need to go about punching players, but you know, it needs to be about you're 2-0 down. Aye. And Neil Lennon said it. He says, look, I think Engels is what I got on me, and they needed a bit of urgency. You know, and it just seemed, and the players that you'd expect us to get that urgency, like your Callum McGregor's, it just didn't see there. And that's what really annoyed me, wasn't it? Celtic aren't going to win every game of the season. I completely understand that. But it was the manner, it just looked like a fucking can I be arsed game at times, and I don't know, it didn't sit with me because I just thought, nah, you need to be like, you can lose a game if you're up for the fight. It was just how down we were for the fight, and Hibs sensed that, Alistair.
It was meek. That's what it was. It was meek. It was meek. And he said I known Hibs were going to be up for that game today. But you need to match the fight. And we were so far off it was untrue.
You could be the most technical team, team in the world.
Honestly, and
you can be the most technical team in the world.
You
can be the most technical team in the world. Yeah. But if you're not up for the fight, then that's the problem. Unfortunately.
Yeah. The fight will beat talent every time. I often have said that recently. But let's be honest, Josh, it was never. I don't really think any of us believed it was going to cost us the league, but I'm going to say this. It's a warning for 2 weeks' time when we play a cup tie against the very same team. We turn up like that, we're going out. Celtic Park are not.
What was when they turned up to Celtic Park, the last defeat, and you probably should have been 2-0 up with Cash when they played the exact same way, so they did have a warning. And Hibs will believe that same way will get them results at Celtic Park, and
we need
so,
to be ready for
it. But obviously, Alice, I don't want to speak too much about it because everybody knows my opinion on VAR. It's just shite. Obviously, we thought we had an equaliser through Dies and Maida. Engels plays the pass, probably a bit overcooked. Johnston does well to put the ball into the box and we get the finish. Obviously, the ball looked out of play. I don't think it is out of play, if I'm being honest. There's not a conclusive. That's going to be the key word. There's no conclusive to.
Well, the linesman gave the goal. So, surely God, he's got the best view. But I will say this, Josh. Why are we getting involved there? That's not a clear and obvious error.
I think
this
is where the Poundland VAR strikes again for me though. Because you look at it and go, I will say this: the referee was atrocious for both teams. He didn't ref that game properly.
It was control of it.
And I look at it and go, there was a point in the second half as well where Jota breaks away and Hibs. It looks like a foul to me in the box, and don't even check it. So I'm kind of like, right, well, you need to be a bit more controlled in that now, because I'm going to be impartial. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the ref was against Celtic, but the ref was absolutely atrocious for both sides in that game. But the thing is, there's no conclusive. There's no clear angle with the fact that it was given on field needs VAR need to find a conclusive angle to disallow that goal, and we've got Poundland VAR. See in the Premier League, look at the one they won against.
That's given in the Premier League.
If they go to VAR, right, they'll have hundreds of cameras, right? They'll be able to find that conclusive angle. We've got Poundland VAR, as I call it. We've got maybe one or two cameras where you don't see it conclusive enough. It's not conclusive enough to say that's out of play.
Even as if I'm going to be fair here. It's not as if you've even got the Sky cameras. It's Premier Sports. So as I say, Josh, if it's inconclusive, the rule is if you can't prove it was out, on-field decision stands. But
exactly. So, I mean, it's a mess. I mean, I've always said that about VAR and just refereeing in this country. For all teams, I'm one of these.
No doubt we'll get an apology in about 4 weeks' time saying that he should have stood.
You'll get fucking Gordon Duncan and Wally Collum prancing about in their wee show, whatever they try to tell us that.
It feels to me, Josh, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, that in Scottish football, they need to kind of justify that. I mean, in every game, you'll get a bad decision, you'll be like that. Why is it? I mean, I'll give you an example. See at the second Hibs goal today, I said as soon as the ball hit the net, I said that's a goal.
They didn't even need to go about
I said that because I went, that's tight.
I didn't even need to go to VAR about it because I seen it on TV. It was blatantly onside. You could see it a mile off. But no, it's just VAR. That's what it does now, to be honest. And it's just you get one every week. But as long as we get the Wally Collum show, then that's fine. It's keeping Wally Collum in a job.
Well,
so
it's kind of justice what happened. But I want a reaction on Tuesday night. It'll be a bad day at the office, and we've not had too many of them, despite this season. But that was unacceptable today.
I know it was.
I know results have went one way, but we couldn't make That's standard.
Aye. No, I know.
No
As I said,
problem.
we're still 13 points clear. Thankfully, that's the main thing. Due to America FC fucking dropping points, but as well, but as you said, Alistair, a response is needed against Aberdeen. But I will finish up there. That's going to be it for your post-match reaction to Hibs to Celtic 1 as Celtic taste defeat for the second time domestically this season. As I said, there we'll be back probably about Monday to preview that game at Celtic Park against Aberdeen on Tuesday. Until then, we'll speak to you later. And hail, hail.
Hail, hail.